Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it today. Look, I wanted to talk a little bit about state benefits. I've talked about it before. And not all states are created equal when it comes to the different benefits that they offer veterans. Remember that states run their own government, right? And yes, the VA is a big part of what we look at as far as our benefits are concerned, whether you're buying a house or you need education, you're utilizing your GI Bill, or you have a spouse dependent utilizing the Chapter 35 benefit, or you transferred some of your GI Bill to your spouse or kids. And obviously, disability compensation is a big one. And then there's a few other things, right, that we look at from the VA, from the federal perspective. When you hone in and you look at the states, there's a lot of things that affect our daily life, and depending on what state you live in, really is going to make a big factor on your living situation with regard to the different benefits. Now, I'll throw it out there. Not every state, again, is created equal, and not every state is going to be the best for every veteran. And the reason why is because Veteran A may be looking for, hey, I need to get my 5 kids into school tuition free, and really that's my biggest focus right now. And if I can find some sort of a state benefit, because I don't have the federal benefit for some reason, you're not rated at 100%, or you never transferred any funds over, and even with that many kids, I mean, everybody gets to go for 6 months. So you don't have a federal way to take care of the education piece for those 5 kids, you're going to be leaning on state benefits in order to, satisfy that desire to get all your kids through college if that's what you're looking for. And some states will offer free college, free tuition through universities, all the way through a doctorate if you stay within the certain guidelines of the qualifications. California would be a good example of that. Another veteran may say, hey, look, all my kids are grown, done, taking care of themselves, everything's good to go. I'm just looking for a state that has no property tax, because I'm going to maybe move there. I'm going to sell my house here, come out with cash, go buy a house there, and I don't want any real estate tax on that property because I'm trying to really lower my outgoing and I want to survive on what I have coming in on these fixed incomes and so forth. So maybe Texas, right, is a great one for you there. There's other states, obviously, that offer no property tax. The other thing to consider when you're looking at states on veteran benefits alone, don't forget to look into their overarching philosophies as far as taxes are concerned as well, such as sales tax, right, and income tax. So if you have a state that doesn't have income tax or sales tax, I believe New Hampshire's like that, that's a pretty good situation. So make sure that you're looking at all the variables as you're looking at different states if you're considering moving. And I know a lot of people now are really looking at different options. So what I wanted to share with you today is, and I know it took me 3.5 minutes to get here, so I apologize, but I wanted to kind of set the stage with all of that. Oklahoma is a state with some fantastic benefits, and I had known that they had great benefits before. I just kind of, I saw it, read it somewhere, never kind of went back, and I was reminded by somebody on the channel who made a comment on a recent video, and they brought up Oklahoma, and that is some good stuff. So thank you for bringing that up, because Oklahoma has some fantastic benefits. And there's 2 things that you can take from this video if you hang on. One thing is, if you don't want to move to Oklahoma, for example, then look at Oklahoma as a template of what maybe right could look like for your state as far as veterans benefits are concerned. If you see something that they have that your state does not, bring it to the attention of your military and veterans affairs committees on your state assembly and state senate side. So the people on the state, working the state, your state elected officials, bring it up to them, bring it up to your representatives for the state. Again, not your congressman, not your U.S. senator, but your assembly person and your state senator. So again, for the state side of this stuff, because you need to bring it up to them. They understand, especially the Military and Veterans Affairs committees. Usually they combine the two. There could be a standalone Veterans Affairs committee. But you can share this information and point to it. And, when enough of us, right? When I say you, I mean like all of us. When we collectively knock on the door of our electeds and say, hey, look, I'm going to move to a place like this. And I know 17 or 48 or 122 other people that are also considering to move to a state like this. It will create some action, hopefully, because if there's enough of us doing that, there will get some synergy. And the problem, or not the problem, but the issue at hand here for the states is there is literally billions of dollars coming into the states, the bigger states especially. You're knocking on the door at $10 billion in monthly compensation from VA benefits on these bigger states like, the Texas, the Florida, the California, those states. So there's a lot of money coming in for veterans. And what does that mean? That means you don't qualify, a lot of us, for certain state benefits if we, had to apply to something, we don't qualify. And so they're happy that we are kind of self-sufficient in that way as a whole, right? So as you're looking at all of us. And we have federal resources for our health care, which is the VA. And we're also creating jobs for the civilian sector by way of having all these different veteran services like the VA and so forth in place. So there's a lot to be said for us as a veteran community and the value that we bring, not just, the fact that we're veterans and it's the right thing to do, but all the monetary pieces that kind of trickle in behind it. So when you're having these discussions or you're mentioning this to an elected official, you need to understand where we're coming from with this, because you can speak confidently that there is a huge value to us when it comes to being in a specific state. So jumping into Oklahoma real quick, just to share with you, and again, sorry it took so long to get there. I hope you hung on. Oklahoma state veteran benefits, Oklahoma Veterans Homes. So again, every state, at least that I know of, has veteran homes. Some have more than others, kind of depending on the population size of veterans, but there are currently 7 veteran homes, and they're basically like convalescent type homes, assisted living all the way through to skilled nursing and memory care, which are really great. So those are available through the states. So not through the federal government, but through the state government. So again, Oklahoma has 7 homes, and they're building an 8th one in Oklahoma here soon. Next is their property tax exemption. Oklahoma provides a total property tax exemption for 100% disabled veterans who own and occupy the property as their place of residence. So in other words, you're owner-occupied residence. You can't get a second home or rental property there and get that. Next is income tax. All military pay is tax-free. And then for veterans, or retirees, I should say, as of 2022, retirement pay is tax-free. Huge. They made the step in the right direction. There's still a handful of states out there that have some issues with that. So, you need to point out that if your state is not tax-free for retirement pay, they need to jump on it. Sales tax exemption. Veterans rated 100% permanent and totally disabled by VA are exempt from state sales tax. Veterans must register with the Oklahoma Veterans Registry to receive the benefit. That's amazing. Okay, so if you are in a state that has sales tax, which most do, if you're a 100% rated veteran who's permanent and total, you can apply for an exemption to sales tax in Oklahoma. Unbelievable. So that is a very, very cool benefit that I was not aware of, and glad that I'm looking into it. Oklahoma veterans' preference for jobs with the state. So the state is probably one of the bigger employers in the state. So working for the state government is a big employer, and you get 10 points, and disabled war veterans with at least a 30% disability are automatically placed on the top of the selection list. So just being a veteran alone will get you a 10-point preference, and disabled war veterans with at least a 30% disability are automatically placed on the top of a selection list. So that's awesome. Hunting and fishing licenses. Oklahoma resident veterans with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs disability rating of at least 60% can get discounted lifetime hunting and fishing licenses. Great. Another one here is free admission to state-owned and operated parks and museums. So you get free admission to all of those. So very good stuff for Oklahoma. Kudos to Oklahoma. Outstanding job taking care of your veterans, all the way from hunting and fishing licenses through tax exemptions to sales tax exemption to a well-rounded out veteran home enclave. I mean, you have 7 and you're putting in 8. I believe Texas has 9 and California has 8. So good for you. Keep up the good work. I appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you so much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.